up, y'all? It's your boy, Coach Kiwi here, back with Team Tempest, YCL Draft League Season 4. This week we're going into the playoffs versus Coach Pokebaldi and the Dundee Darmanitans. Sorry I had to voice over record this. For some reason my mic input didn't actually pick up my voice, so I had to edit this a little bit. Hope y'all don't mind. Earlier in the season, we did pick up a win against this team, but we did find it difficult to navigate the right plays, just because his team was, or he built his team quite bulky. I didn't think he'd bring Como again this week, just because it didn't do much the last time we played. I definitely didn't think he was going to bring Karkol again. I thought he was going to bring Gengar. But bottom left 6 is mine. Bottom right 6 is his. Same record, 3-2 each. Here we are. We're just getting in connection with each other and viewing the teams now. So I was definitely right in my assumption that he wasn't going to bring the Karkol. And he was going to bring Gengar just for more swing. The only thing that I was incorrect in assuming was the Como. He did bring it again. Now, I kind of approached this in a weird manner this time, I'd say, because I didn't bring Galvantula, and one of the reasons I had brought Galvantula was just for the webs, because being able to let Kyurem go off is huge. But the last time Kyurem got discharged paralyzed. So that was crazy, but what ended up happening is the webs came in clutch because it allowed Rillaboom to still go off. I'm assuming he's going to lead the same thing here as last time, which was Zapdos. And what I do is I just lead Kyurem, as you saw. And I'm going to just fire off a Freeze Dry. Last time again, he had Registeel with the Moranga Berry, which is a +1 special defense when hit by special attack. In that moment, you know, that kind of threw me off when in the middle of that battle. So I definitely think that he might have brought it again, just because it kind of forces a switch. Alright, so here we go. I said my GLHF. May the better coach win. Or better team and coach, I should say. So let's see what he leads. Okay, he leads Zapdos like we assumed. And the Kyurem lead is looking strong right now. He had Substitute last time, which was pretty annoying. I actually brought Hitmontop with Technician Triple Axle this time. Should be able to hit a few things decently. Just gonna fire off the Freeze Dry. Freeze Dry go crazy. In this situation, I assume his only switches were either Ninetales or Registeel. He did. So there's the Ninetales. Nothing wrong with some chip. Does a little bit of damage, not too much. Assuming this thing was Scarf, so I knew something had to take a pretty decent hit right here, Blizzard or Moonblast. Now, in this moment, I made the right assumption in assuming that he's going to fire off a Moonblast, but I definitely made the wrong choice here because I stayed in. I actually prioritized killing this Ninetales, because having a Scarf 100% Blizzard on this thing, a 100 accuracy Blizzard, was pretty like frustrating, especially considering that I didn't have webs this week. The only thing is, this Moonblast really chunked us, and you guys will see that you know, having any one of your hard-hitting mons chunked this much early in the match, definitely detrimental to the game. Huge. I think in the end, I didn't even find out if this was Scarf. When I ran the calc, this was supposed to do like 50% to 60. That is a hard 75%. So I was like, is it spec? I asked him actually after the match, and he never even said. So it's kind of funny. Yep. So that flash cannon did the job. He sends in Registeel. Last time was body press, rest, iron defense, and what was that? Body press? Oh, and sleep talk. So one of my countermeasures was having a roar or whirlwind. I kind of trolled it a little bit though. I forgot to put the stealth rocks on the Ferrothorn. So me having this roar wasn't even as beneficial, other than getting it out. So, you know, I did get this thing out of the way in terms of not having to face it at this moment. It might have not been so bad, like I said, if I had the rock. So my Milotic comes out not too bad here either, because he can't toxic me, and I'm physically defensive, and usually he runs flip turn on this thing. I thought it was a pretty safe play. Safe or fair play to just hit the knockoff here. So we find out we're faster. Knockoff does a decent shot. Flip turns. Wasn't too sure what he'd go into. I thought maybe he'd go back into Registeel, and I said, you know what? Why would he go back into Registeel if I could just roar him again? He goes into Jingle. Homo. Not too sure how to handle this right now as well. I kind of wanted to just feel it out, see what it was. So I hit a cross poison, hoping we can get crit with sniper. We are, and that was the crit plus stab, etc. That was actually nuts. We are faster than this thing, and seeing that much or that little damage, we know this thing is full defensive. So we saw Stealth Rock, and we know it has leftovers now. And I said, okay, this thing is huge in terms of defense. I need to get this leftovers off. He protects. I think he just wanted to see what we were gonna do. I kind of regret running Drapion in this manner now. I should have just went Black Sludge with Toxic. It would have been way better. I think he assumed I was gonna go for Toxic and just wanted to see. So you'll see me right here just debating the roar or the knockoff, but I actually believe I just hit knockoff in a sec, just because it wasn't there wasn't any plus for him to stay in. Like, he didn't hit any type of status power or power increase move. So I decided to knock off, I think. Oh, I didn't actually, I roared. Whoops. So he actually swapped, and the roar was pretty good in terms of the play. I kind of would have liked to have seen what he wanted to do in that situation though, because he went into my Milotic assuming something could have happened. Maybe he thought I was going to knock off, so him switching into the Milotic was not too terrible, assuming he wouldn't lose an item. Alright, there's a knockoff crit. Did nothing. Leftovers gone. And this actually caught me off guard. That did a huge chunk. And it kind of threw me off. I didn't know how to handle it that well now. I was just kind of caught, like I said, really off guard. And I wasn't thinking well in this moment. I should have found a way for me to get a free switch to Curium and just freeze dry this thing. Originally I wanted to bring Claydol over Hitmontop, and you don't know how many times I smacked myself across the head because I didn't bring it in that situation as a spinner. The Dazzling's lean would have been monstrous in this moment. So he Toxic, Body Press, Protect, and Stealth Rock. Maximum HP, maximum defense. I'm going to assume Fire off triple axle. Technician. Did a good chunk, but it didn't do as much as we were hoping. Being toxic, we definitely want to get this thing out of the way and get out of there as soon as possible. I'm debating what to do here. Is he going to swing or is he going to switch? I said to myself, well, I think this thing did its job for the most part. I don't think he's going to switch out in that scenario. I really wanted to go for a rapid spin, but I was afraid he would read me and switch into Gengar, and it would be huge minus. So I did switch into Ferrothorn, and he did swing, and this way he's going to die to Iron Barb, Rocky Helmet. Good in terms of him dying, but scary because this thing did crap load of damage. I definitely should have built this more physically defensive, but I misplayed it earlier when I left Kyurem in. Like I said, I should have switched the Ferrothorn out and put 9-tail versus Ferrothorn. Definitely would have been way better. I would have been able to set up a Leech Seed probably after taking the hit and get off maybe at least one Iron defense. The reason I didn't do so, I was just afraid that he had the Flamethrower on the Como again, and obviously him being faster without the web, I would have just died. But now seeing that set, I really started to beat myself again across the head because this Ferrothorn could have potentially went crazy earlier. I built especially defensive assuming he would have the Gengar, and he did. It's alright, these moments happen. You can't prep for everything. I was kind of hoping that I would lead this and the Leech would go off, but the thing is X. So there's no way I was letting that stab spec Shadow Ball. But it was better that Ferrothorn go down there than anything else, considering that I didn't have any hazards on it at the time. So it wouldn't be beneficial for me to really keep it alive in that situation. So right here, I decided that I had to force a switch. I went into Volcanic because he's massive in terms of health and can definitely take one, and I have Earth Power. I was assuming he'd read the switch, read the Earth Power, excuse me, and switch into Zapdos. So I went for the Steam Eruption. He goes into my Loaded. Not sure if he read my read. That was a pretty good play on his part because if we had gotten the burn there, that would have been pretty nice. Right here, we're debating what to do because we don't want to stay in and get toxic. But I hit Earth Power anyway because I assumed he'd recover, but I just wanted to see what he'd do. You know, this week I really think that having one less pivot to Galvantula was huge. It really took away from my ability to keep momentum at least even, like, or gain it in my favor. It kind of hurt, you know. I was able to always get off a Volt Switch on his team, and I really went minus not bringing it and then letting Kyurem get chumped because a good set of damage was missing with Galvantula gone, and then now my damage dealer, being the not fastest Mon in the game, was definitely threatened by this Gengar. So I assumed he'd go for Tox at that point. He did, and that's why I switched back into Hitmontop. He was already poisoned. And I thought this would be a good moment as ever to get off the Rapid Spin. I just had to go for it. If he went into Gengar, he went into Gengar. It is what it is. But I assumed he wouldn't just because he'd assumed that I had Sucker Punch. So that Rapid Spin there, so I believe we get it off, which is pretty huge. That means Kyurem can come in and still live, Volcanic can come in and still not take the rock damage again, which is monumental because they were already chipped. So then we are face to face with this thing again, and it is incredibly annoying Um, you know, this playstyle doesn't suit me. Bringing what? Registeel, Milotic, Zapdos, and Como all defensive. Having Zapdos for Roost, Milotic with Recover. I don't think he has the rest on Registeel this week, but instead he showed up with Amnesia. Yeah, as you saw there. Hey man, a win is a win. You play how you please. You'll just never catch me playing like this, man. I just had to keep going for flamethrowers here. Knowing that body press is probably his only attacking move, I really hope that I could have burned him and that having his physical damage would have been huge, because Volcanion could have definitely stayed in versus something else after this confrontation with Registeel. I think we end up firing off like maybe 4 flamethrowers, nothing. And we use the body press and check again. So he's just bulking up. Just sitting there to bulk up. Leftover procs, and Volcanion is back to peak health, which is pretty good considering rocks are not up. Meaning that Volcanion can come in and probably eat a spec hit from this Gengar. Then he goes and does this, he rests. So he's seen Rest, Amnesia, Iron Defense, and because of those 3, I automatically assumed it was Lumberry, correct, there it goes, or Chesterberry, either one, and that he would have Body Press as he forced him. So assuming that now that he's at +2 in each, he's just going to start swinging, and he does. There's the Body Press. Does a decent chunk, a little over a third. But the leftovers are making it probably about a clean third, or 30%. A little less maybe. So Volcanion could definitely eat at least 2. Granted, he doesn't get a crit or something. But at that point, we could not switch in the Drapion to get off Aurora anymore. So he was free to just keep clicking the body press. Because the berry was gone, I just assumed that he wouldn't have the opportunity to rest again, and that he was just so up in terms of his defenses that it was just too minus for him to switch out. So I just kept swinging flamethrower. It was probably my best option in this scenario, seeing that Kyurem was already chunked and his special defense was already up. Nothing coming in would do any more damage than a stab flamethrower really, and like I said, I would not be able to get off the Roar. So he goes for the +2 Iron defense again, so now he's at +4. That body press is huge. Luckily we had the leftovers this week instead of Assault Vest. That actually made the difference in health for us to survive and get off another flamethrower. Crazy. Really hoping for the burn. I mean, we fired off, what, 6? I think 6 flamethrowers? Didn't get 1. So we bring in, I think, Rillaboom after Volcanion goes down. Because we're hoping that high horsepower is enough to kill him. But at +4 defense, it's questionable as well. We really wanted it to die. We didn't want it to get the heals from Grassy Surge as well. I really regret not bringing like Drain Punch. It lives 1 HP. Absolutely insane low roll for us. And the body press brings us down to 30 health. And this was actually terrible. Again, another one of our answers for Gengar was chipped. So huge. This time it was on a roll. The first time I actively chose to let Kyurem get that low. these two mistakes really proved detrimental to us. So Registeel's gonna go down here, down for after the second high horsepower. But I won't lie, guys. At this point, it was looking pretty grim. Seeing that my only way to hit this Gengar now seems to be a grassy glide, or I can't remember if I brought Sucker Punch actually and Hitmontop. It's actually pretty scary. And me being banded here, I'd have to switch and give something up. Sucks, but it is what it is. Again, these moments happen. So he U-turns out, and I was just assuming that he'd just go straight into Gengar here. I mean, why wouldn't he? I think he actually clicked Shadow Ball. We'll see if I can not rush it. Yeah, so Chuckles, big smile Gengar, there he is. Assuming that he had went Shadow Ball here, I just hit knockoff, hoping that we could potentially live it, or yeah, I went knockoff for the stab. Not very effective, obviously, but it proved to be enough, I believe. I'm not sure what he was thinking about this long, because, you know, the stab move is definitely the play for him. That was a really long time for him. So he hits Shadow Ball. Not very effective. It does kill us. Maybe that Shadow Ball actually made, or the U-turn from Zapdos made the difference in living or not. Who knows? But not much we can do there. So I bring out Hitmontop now, as I have just some Prio attacks. I didn't have Sucker Punch actually, but all I could really do was just hit this thing like this. I don't think there's anything else I could have done. Grassy Glide is definitely not killing this, as he could have just switched into Zapdos, and I didn't want to risk the static. It would have been huge if I just read the switch and hit triple axle. It would have actually been huge. But seeing that Hitmontop was toxic, that was kind of sad too. But it is what it is then. It would have been nice because I could have potentially got off 2 Prio hits with Bullet Punch and Grassy Glide later on. He U-turns just to kill us, switches out again. Just a bulky pivot. My loaded comes out. I think we just go down to the toxic, right? After triple axle, yeah. We only get off 1, unfortunate. So we're going to Kyurem because we can just freeze dry, and then we hope for the freeze because it will actually fall what we really do. If I had gone into Rillaboom, he would just switch back into Zapdos, so it was definitely just better for me to just hit freeze dry. Thing barely lives, but he does get frozen. You can see my reaction. Kind of happy something worked out in my favor this time. Best bet is for me to just freeze dry again, and that's what I do. So my Ludwig goes down to the second freeze dry right there, and at this point, I'm stuck. He can just bring in Gengar, which is the fastest mon, and just nothing I can really do. All I can do is just hit the Earth Power here. So Kyurem goes down to Sludge Wave. And we're down to Rillaboom versus Zapdos and Gengar. Both being full HP as well. Grassy Terrain comes out. Nice for us to heal a little bit. And I just was like, man, is this guy gonna switch? He doesn't know my item. In that case, I definitely don't want a high horsepower, because then I have no hope. So if I just knock off, maybe I can get a crit, and I get to swing again. So he's debating here. He doesn't know if I'm scarfed or not. He does switch. So he believed that we were scarfed, which is not bad. But I mean, we're like reaching for a prayer now. Zapdos gets his boost knocked off. Seeing that damage now and that we were banded and we got no crit, there was no way we could actually win this game at this point. We can only just click knockoff because again we are banded. There goes the static. You can just roost. Just gonna fire off the discharge. Not gonna kill us. I assume this is only attacking move at that point. Just gonna keep hitting knockoff, y'all. Psych, we're gonna run. There was no point in us staying here, seeing that he had roost and we were paralyzed. Definitely well played by Coach Rory. He made some good reads that game. I definitely should have prepped better, and I shouldn't have allowed my attacking mons to take that much damage early. Best of luck in the rest of the playoffs, brother. I think you'll do well. And I'll see y'all in the next one, which is probably going to be a little while from now, seeing as this is the last game for our YCL S4 season. I really do appreciate y'all tuning in and watching all my videos. It really does help me. Please do drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Love y'all. Peace.